of physical geography, right? So we will go through with the chapter number 1, geography as a discipline. First of all, before proceeding to the procedure, how the Earth evolved, which type of features are found on the Earth's surface, what is the physical environment of the Earth, you must know about some important facts about geography as a subject, right? So this chapter is mainly introductory chapter, which will help you to understand what is geography in detail, right? So the first question is, what is geography? No doubt, up to the secondary stage, it is a part of social study. But in the senior secondary education or in the senior secondary level, it is considered as an independent subject, right? So what do you mean by geography? As I told you in the last lecture, introductory lecture, that geography is mainly combination of the two words, and the literal meaning of geography is geo means the earth and graphos meaning the to describe. So the description of the earth on Earth's surface as a whole, it is called geography, right? So it is primarily concerned with the study of the Earth's surface, where all forms of life, including human life, exist. It is also concerned with the human activities which take place on the surface of the Earth. Means we studied the physical features as well as human features found on the Earth's surface in the geography. So basically, geography is the study of the interaction of human beings with his physical environment. Now, what do you mean by physical environment and human-made environments? In short form, physical environment means the features which are created by our nature, and man-made environments means the features which are created by us, by human beings, right? So we studied in geography the earth surface as well as human activities, right? Our lifestyle and activities depend on the surrounding environment and technological advancement. Now, you can see in the primitive time, early men led primitive life and lived in forest. Their life was totally dependent on nature. They do hunting, gathering for the survival of their life. They do not know how to live, how to eat, how to wear, and they live they live, eat, and wear whatever the nature provides them. So basically, they totally dependent upon the nature and lived in the forests. But later on, man learned domesticating animals, growing crops, and these are possible due to the technological advancement. So the basically technology has changed the lifestyle of the man from the primitive to the modern lifestyle. So however, human life is not the same everywhere in the world. Here you can see still human life is not same everywhere in the world. There are spatial variation in natural environment, social setup, and cultural development. So geography provides us tool to understand and appreciate the changes that take place over time and space. So we considered the changes which occurs from the primitive to the modern societies. How these changes come? Why these changes come? why some people are living on specific regions, why some regions are sparse, right? Why we wear cotton clothes in summer, and some of the people in the polar region or the higher latitudes or higher altitudes, they wear wool clothes in the summers also. No, so life is not same everywhere in the world. And what is the distribution, what is the reason behind it, all these answers we get in geography, right? So geography has a vast subject area because it is concerned with our earth surface, life existing on the earth, as well as human activities which are totally depend upon the environment surrounding him. In order to understand various aspects of geography, we use globe, cartography, GIS, GPS, computer cartography. What are these? Globe. Globe, as you know, it is the true representative of our Earth, but it is not convenient to use the globe everywhere. So we have to convert the globe in, into a flat surface called map, and this procedure is known as cartography, and the persons who make these maps are called cartographists. Okay, cartographer. Yes. So in the geography, we have to understand all these aspects: GIS, geographical information system, GPS. You are using GPS much better than me now these days. Computer cartography. Earlier, the map making process is done by manually, but now these days it is done by the computer. So there is less chances, or almost zero chances of mistake by the computers in map making. So it is called computer cartography, right? Geography is a fascinating area of study which provides immense possibility to acquire knowledge and help us to know the present day world, because we will go through with the history and in the present also. So by understanding the history, like in the next chapter, we will try to understand how the earth evolved, how the universe evolved, how the solar system evolved, how our earth, moon, and other planets are formed. So all these aspects, when we understand all these aspects, we were able to understand the changes going on with the surface of the earth. So it acquires knowledge, as well as it also enhance our knowledge and help us to know the present day world, right? So come to the definitions which are given by the by some scholars. So origin of the world geography, from where the geography word comes, because in the earlier some years before, it is only considered as a social science. It was not an independent subject from where this word comes. So the first scholar, Eratosthenes, was the first scholar to coin the world geography, who gave us the world geography. The scholar name was Eratosthenes. It is of 1 mark question. So you have to write down these main points, or you can take the screenshots. Basically, he was a Greek geographer of Alexandria, which is in Egypt. So the word geography is the combination of two Greek words, that is geo meaning the earth and graphos meaning to write or describe. So the literal meaning of geography according to the Eratosthenes is to write about the earth, including all that appears on it, whether they are non-living things or the living things. Now, what is geography? In simple words, Geography is the description of the earth in every aspect, in every sphere of life or non-life living things. If we are describing our earth in any respect, we are studied it in geography. In other words, geography seeks to describe variations in relief, climate, drainage, vegetation, soil, etc. in different parts of the world. We will study all these elements one by one, chapter wise, in this book, which is your second part as well as first part. How the relief formed, why there is a variation in the relief. There are regions with mountains, there are some region with plateaus, there are some region with plain areas, some regions have desert areas, why some region have harsh climate. There some are too cold, some are too hot, some have moderate climate, some have more uh, a lot of rivers like our India. Some are lacking in the drainage system. Vegetation is very sparse in some region like our cold deserted area and hot deserted area, high altitudes area, and even near the equator vegetation cover is so dense. Similarly, there are different type of soils are found in the world. So all these differences are described by the geography. Why these occurs, why these variations occurs, what are the reasons behind it, right? So come to the definition. Some scholars gives the definitions, and then there is an addition. Time to time there is an addition in the definition of geography. First definition is given by the Richard Hartshorne. Geography is concerned with the description and explanation of aerial differentiation of the Earth's surface. Means aerial differentiation means area wise differences, right? Aerial differentiation means area wise differences. So geography gives us the answer why the aerial differentiation is occurred on the earth surface. एरियल डिफरेंटिएशन जैसे लास्ट अभी आपने देखा कि क्या we studied about the variation in relief, climate, vegetation, soil, etc. Right? So geography is totally concerned with the description and explanation why these variations occur on the earth's surface, right? Second definition is given by Hattner. Hattner gives his definition that geography studies the differences of phenomena causally related in parts of the Earth's surface. It may be noted that the geographical phenomena are not static, but highly dynamic and ever-changing. For example, now this time there is a adequate sunshine outside. Maybe within 1 hour or 2 hour or after some time, there can be a cloudy area. So geographical phenomena is not static. It is dynamic. It keeps on changing. So this is applicable to both physical and human phenomena. Now, human mind is not static. It is also dynamic. We are very curious to know about the things and exploring the things and changing our lifestyle. Here you can see, if we go back to our first topic, the early man lives in the forest, but it is the changing attitude of human beings. We explore the things, we invent the things, and we change our lifestyle. So the change in physical and human phenomena is the result of interactive processes between ever-changing earth and untiring and ever active human beings. Because our earth is also changing, geographical phenomena is also changing, and according to these changes and by the interaction with the nature, we are also changing our lifestyle. We, in short, we are developing with the help of nature through our technology with the interaction of our nature. So we changed our lifestyle from primitive to modern society. So geography is thus concerned with the study of nature and human interactions as an integrated whole. The third definition is given by Aldi Slam. According to him, Slam defined geography as the description of the earth as the abode of human beings. Abode means house, home. So he told that geography is the abode of earth is the abode of human beings. No doubt we live on the earth's surface. We use the things provided our earth, whether it is atmospheric, whether it is in the form of landforms or whatever. So it is our home. Now, what do you mean by geographical phenomena? So, geographical phenomena are not static but highly dynamic and ever changing. As I told you, we study about two types of phenomena. First is physical phenomena. Physical phenomena include the physical features like mountain, plain, climate, soil, ocean, etc. The features which are created by our nature, they are known as physical phenomena. Remember these phenomena always. Human phenomena includes building, canals, roads, bridges, houses, transportation system, everything which are created by human beings, right? So there are two type of geographical phenomena: physical phenomena and human phenomena. This physical and human phenomena keeps on changing because our earth is ever changing and human beings are ever active. Our mind never rests. It is always active to explore the new things. Since ancient times, the man used their physical environment and changed their lifestyle. This result in the lifestyle of man from primitive to modern societies. In primitive times, man is totally dependent upon the nature for their necessities like food, clothing, shelter. Then that situation is called naturalization of human. Uh, Mark this statement. It is a term, naturalization of human. It is the situation of the primitive time when the man is totally dependent upon the nature for their food, clothing, and shelter. That situation is known as naturalization of human, when the human beings are totally controlled by the nature. But with the technological advancement and skill, men control the nature to a limited extent and changes its lifestyle. Now he is exploring to the natural resources. Now these days we can go through with the deep seas, fly in the air. We are studying. If we took the example of the present day, we are studying not physically present face to face, but the technology help us to study far off places now these days, like our online classes are going on. So the natural phenomena means the pandemic to corona covid-19. Due to the covid-19, the schools are closed now, but the technology enables us to study at our homes. So technological advancement and the skill of the man control the nature to a limited extent. No doubt we can't control the nature fully. We can prevent ourselves to harm us, like if the some calamities are expected to be come, we can forecasting, uh, to, uh, we can tell the people that these cyclones or these floods are came to be in future, and you have to leave your houses for some time, or you have to clear these villages or coastal areas, right? So we can prevent from these calamities by forecasting now, right? So it is due to the technological advancement. Now he himself leaves a deep impact on nature and control the nature to a limited extent. This situation is called humanization of nature. Here is your second term. Mark this: humanization of nature. When the human beings control the nature to a limited extent and have a great deep impact on nature, that situation is called humanization of nature. Means we converted the nature according to our needs. Now we can grow the wheat even in the Rajasthan deserted area with the help of canals where the river system is not present, but we have made the canals to irrigate our fields. So we change the nature, we have controlled the nature, and by this control the nature, we make changes in our lifestyle. So this situation is known as humanization of nature, where we control the nature according to our need, right? So we get two terms here: naturalization of human, and second is humanization of nature. Remember that naturalization of human refers to the primitive society, whereas humanization of nature refers to the modern society. So we can see the changing process in our lifestyle as well as on the earth. This is due to the interaction of man with this physical environment. It makes the geographical phenomena ever dynamic. So it is true that geographical phenomena are not static but highly dynamic and ever changing. Here you can conclude that geographical phenomena as well as human beings are not static, they both are dynamic, and the result is changing process, right? Now in geography, no doubt we studied about the interaction of human beings with its nature. As a well-organized discipline, geography is concerned with three sets of questions, namely, means we always try to find three questions about any phenomena regarding geographical phenomena, as maybe it may be physical phenomena or human phenomena. We are primarily concerned with three questions. First, what when we saw anything, we think, what is this? So first question which comes in our mind is what. So this question is related to the identification of the natural and cultural features found over the surface of the earth. When we saw any feature, we identify it. What is this? If elevation is there, apex, the top is apex and the base is broad. So when we saw the feature like that, we called it mountains now. So we identify the feature and give the name that feature the mountains. Same, the elevated area which have table like top and broad base, we called it plateau. So we identify the feature and give it the name. So basically first question is what, which is related to the identification of any physical or cultural feature. Second question is where. There are some other questions which are related to the distribution of the natural and cultural features of the earth's surface. When we identified any feature, like we are taking the same example, if we identify the feature like mountain in our India, so the second question comes in our mind, only this type of feature is found in India only or anywhere else. So when we want to identify that feature in different region, that is called where this feature is found. So basically this question is related to the distribution of the natural and cultural features over the surface of the earth. When we explore the thing, when we try to find out this question, we came to know that the mountains are found in various regions of the world, right? Himalayas, Alps, Andes. There are lot of mountainous areas in the world. So second question related what, where. Third, why. Why this set of question is related to the explanation or all the causal relationships between features and the process. This aspect of geography is related to the question why. The third question arises in our mind is why these features are formed, why this part of the earth elevated. When this question comes to our mind, it gives the explanation. When then we go with the theories behind it and explain how the Himalayas are formed, why this part of the earth, why this part of India is elevated, how this process occurs. We will we have some theories for this. We will study it in our next chapters. So basically, when we are going to the study of the earth surface, we will concerned with the three questions. First, why, what, that is related to the identification of the features, whether they are physical or cultural. Second question is where is related to the distribution of the physical and cultural features on the earth surface. And the third one is why these features are found in specific regions. So this question is related to the explanation of the physical